Welcome to Wake Up Tech. Today we will discuss how to integrate Postgres package in Node.js. Let me share my screen. As we mentioned earlier, Node.js is a JavaScript runtime environment. And here, whatever you write everything in pure JavaScript. So this is what we mentioned. Node.js is pure JavaScript. And ID, you can see we are going to use Visual Studio Code. It's available cross-platform for Linux, Windows, and macOS. Plenty of plugins. In VS Code is called extensions. It's easily integrated with GitHub. And hardware, we are going to use MacBook or Windows or Linux desktop. And Node.js 14.x plus should be installed on your laptop. So first we are going to add a new file for database connection, and in that new file we are going to install PG package. PG package is an npm package for Postgres integration in Node.js project. So you open your terminal and run npm install PG. So it should install PG package. Once this package is installed, then you are going to write some code. So that I attached a screenshot. So here you can also see in live code. Here I created code.js. As I mentioned you have to create a new file for better data decoupling and structured code. And in that you will write this piece of code. So what it does, so here we require PG package, that's why we mentioned PG, and then we are calling pool object from it, and we are assigning it to pool variable, and that pool variable would be a separate instance altogether, immutable. So that's why we put it as constant. And then here we mention a connection string. You can see user, that is database user in Postgres. So it's not your login user, it's database user who will own your database. Then host, we mention here a local host database, whatever database you want to connect, and password, and then port. By default, 5432 is port for Postgres. Then we are going to, you can see, create a pool from this connection string. So whatever connection string we passed here, we are going to pass into pool constructor, and it will return your pool object, and that new is for new pool object, and we assign it to a pool variable. Now are going to write some Postgres SQL queries. As I mentioned that you should open query.js in VS Code, and here you have to create a module that is get users, and in that get users module we are going to write SQL select query. So that you can see in our screenshot here I put ID, first name, last name from our users table. So this is our users table. And here you can see in this pull.query is asynchronous, it's not asynchronous. So here you have to also mention a call. So once this query is executed, it will return you results, and if some error happens, it will give you error. So that is asynchronous call. So here we are handling errors. If any error have occurred, we are throwing 400 error to response, and with message, whatever message we get in error, and then if we get results, then we filter out results. So that results we filter is if there are some data or not. So if there is no data, we again throw error 401. There is no answer. But if there is some data, then we send 20 in response code along with all rows. So results.rows will show you all rows. Next, here we have to export that model, that get users. So it can be consumed by index.users to create root. So how we are going to do it? So first we have to write modules.export, and here put it module name. So get users is a module name. So what it does here, you can see it will export that get users as a route to be consumed in other files. So you can even put a variable in export. So as soon as you assign anything in export, it creates a module, and that module can be consumed in other files. So now let's go to index.js file. So here we are going for routing. So route path can be a string pattern, or regular expression, and here we created our string route, and that string route is users. So it will match request to users endpoint. That you can see. That you can see in our live code. Here in index.js, we mention our endpoint as route as users, and now anyone who wants to access this API will use users endpoint to call our API. And here you can see app.get. So this is get method. That is route method, and that route method is get. Now let's try to run it. See, to run it, what you have to do? You have to just run node and index.js, and after that, let's open. So now you can see, and I'm going to execute it. So here localhost 3000, 3000 is our port that you can see here is running on 3000 port, and we're going to run it. See, we got the response. So here you can see we got ID, first name, last name. This is what we mentioned in our query. Here you can see it, right? So same thing what we enter in select query, ID, first name and last name. This is going, and these are returned in response. So that's it.